Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Christelle Martinet, and I know this is a long weekend for you. I know for most of you in the United States, at least, and the rest of the world, for those of you who have given thanks, like I suggested in my last video. Today I'm posting a video on the full moon, the full beaver moon eclipse session energy. And it will be one video, long video, a reading of energies that you'll be feeling in this moon cycle. But let me start with a little bit of sounds, a few sounds here and there. Okay, and I'll get right into the reading now, so just hold on. So here we'll start with a deck called the Lemurian Starseed Oracle. As you can see, they're huge cards, and this has a special story in my life. I got these cards after I had a past life regression. It was a very difficult time, a couple of years ago, actually. And a fantastic regressionist, past life regressionist, she brought me back. And when we, typically you discuss the session afterwards, and she said, you know, you are a Lemurian star child, you know. And so it's because of the descriptions that I had given her during the session. And it was about 90 minutes. The session was about 90 minutes long. And I looked around and I thought, wait, that must be saying something to me. And I found these cards. And that's how these came to be in my hands. These are oracle cards. So I will use them at the beginning as a focus. Let's see. Put that in the beginning. Put that there. And then we'll go into the tarot. With the tarot, we know that this moon cycles and moon energy typically span 2 weeks, a week before, a week after. And I'm posting this on a Saturday evening, Central European time. And the full moon should be occurring between Sunday and Monday of the month, which would be 30th of November, which will be finishing the long weekend for the United States, in the United States for Thanksgiving. That's typically celebrated. Now, let me use the Sibila cards afterwards, along with the runes. So let me show you these first. This is an oracle card deck that usually has writing on it, and as you can see, written very large, in large print: abundance, fullness of source, enough for all, open. Now, this is, it's the sensation that there is the possibility that abundance come our way. Now, we do have to bear in mind, and I continuously try to stress this, but I get the impression that it always falls on deaf ears. Our thoughts are our witch's intentions. When we say witch, bewitch, you know, bring out that witch in you. You can make magic. The magic that we make, and our life is created by our very thoughts. If you wake up and put your feet on the ground and say, today's going to be a beautiful day, and you continuously do that day in and day out, regardless of your life's conditions, this changes dramatically how you live. And what's interesting to know and what's interesting to remember is that from the day we're born, of course, we have to depend on those, because we can't walk. We have to be cared for, rather difficult animals from the animal kingdom, but we are cared for. But as soon as we become old enough to walk and talk, we start to show our colors, and the way we think and the way we react are the things that shape our world. Now, this talks of abundance, and it also says fullness of source. Now, source is divine energy that feeds us, that gives us energy, enough for everyone, open. But let me show you the other cards here, because this moon cycle is a very, very powerful moon, and it is quite difficult to read for unless you can see the dual nature of this energy. And when I talk about the dual nature, I mean that we have to be reminded that everything has two sides. There's always a dual nature to a situation, to energy, to a question, to any issue. And I'll show you the cards, but it's very important after I show you the cards to show you the sequences and discuss the sequences and the pairing and the knighting and the relations among these cards. First off, I have this Ace of Coins. I believe that the Ace of Coins is one of the most interesting cards in the deck. It's one of the most beautiful in my book anyway, because it doesn't speak of necessarily about abundance, although it's in line with our focus card. It talks about, just like source, fullness of source, it talks about spirituality and how spirituality brings us the light of divine source and brings us love. It's all about love in my book. Okay, now I'm not like a typical tarot reader. You may have known that already by me. But then we have next to that the Seven of Wands. And the Seven of Wands is always a card that is, as you can see, a conflictual card where you are embattled. But we'll take a look at what that means. The Queen of Wands. Now, this can be a fire sign. Typically, a fire sign would be an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Then we'll take a look at that. We have this Four of Swords now. It's interesting to see here the Four of Swords is a card that almost invariably tells us there's something that occurs that will be happening afterwards. It's a delay card. This talks of a delay. And as you know, I usually cap my readings with my runes. And the runes also have a distinct way that they indicate delay. So we'll see how that happens. But you see that the Four of Swords is followed by this very, very fast Eight of Wands. And we all know that the Eight of Wands is super fast. And many people call these the Wands of Love. They're very, very fast. But this is a focus. It's right under the focus card. So it has a certain importance. Then we have the Emperor card. And this is an Aries. This is an Aries, a prominent Aries in your life. Right next to that is the Chariot. Well, lo and behold, the Chariot is a very difficult card to plumb, as I say. The Chariot, as you can see, has a white and a black horse. And in many decks, they are moving in two different directions. Something is moving. There is movement here. But it's not always, pen to paper, black on white. There is black and white. So there is an sort of a balance of the direction you're moving into. So we'll take a look at that. And by the way, This Chariot also is a is a Cancer card. So again, we have the fire signs, we have an Aries prominent, and then we have the Cancer prominent for you. Could be that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a lover. It could be a person who's prominent in this period because they guide you, because they argue with you, because they come up to the surface. They emerge as being important to you in this moment. Then we have, this is the cluster here. These four cards are the cluster of the major arcana. I'll show you that. I've got the High Priest, which is a Taurus card. And there too, they're pointing to people in your life, to energies in your life. And this is a work ethic energy. And here is the Hanged Man. And the Hanged Man points to water signs being Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. So we've got these four cards here that are, it's a pool of distinct energy that is shouting out to you over to the right. Then we've got this fast Eight of Wands right as a focus under the Abundance card. And then we have this other group that is an introductory group. And if I take a look at all of them together, what do I see? I see the divine, I see struggle, I see fire, and I see a delay. It's as if this is a period where those of you who have not taken a precise path in terms of what to do to solve your problems based on your gifts, your divine gifts, your skills, what you are meant to be, listening to the heart, listening to your soul, trying to get those bits of information intuitively in order for you then to move forward in a direction that you feel is your so-called path. Is your path, is a place where you and you alone should be moving. Now, be that as it may, okay, I am a person who likes to ruffle the feathers and look at things from a different perspective as well and get the details in the reading. And I'll be doing that with the Vita Sibila cards that I usually use. So let's take a look at what that yields. Let's see. Okay, let's take a look at that. Okay, we've got, I'm going to the four corners of the earth here. The four different elements in the corners, the four different elements that make up the energetic reading here. And I have in the corner of the earth element, I've got ladro, which is a thief and speaks to negative change. Also the letter, and donna di servizio, who is a housemaid and who is always on our side. If what they're saying is, look, ladies and gentlemen, you have a person in mind. You have a love on the brain. You have your Lancelot and your Guinevere, and you are in there on your mind, whether despite any kind of situation you may have socially. You may be already within a companion, already married or separated. That is not the case. When I do a reading, what comes up is what's in your soul, what's in your mind, what's in your heart. And here I'm seeing that this full moon, this eclipse, is eclipsing literally that person. And even though there may not be the possibility to see them, there will be communication. And it is that communication that you really need to care or take care in the way you write the messages, because they will be important both for you and for the other person. Now I have the corner of fire, the element of fire, and I have speranza here, hope, sadness, and the house domestic. Before we had the female housemaid, and now we have the house domestic. Whereas the female housemaid is always a help, this man here is someone like the moon, like the eclipse, hides things and helps people in a sinister way. And your hope is going to give way to sadness, deep-founded sadness. Why? This is the fire corner. And the fire corner tells you that, of course, the passion is not possible in this period, and we understand that. But it's as if with this house domestic, it is being clothed, it is being covered, it's being hidden, and you're literally not able to feel it. And that is what makes the sadness come out. Then we have the water corner. The water corner is signified by this Chariot, which is a Cancer card. And in the water, in the emotional side to the story of this eclipse moon story, is the prison, prigione, donna maritata, the married woman, and Costanza, Constance. And what we have here is a message saying that those of you who are paired in a couple, that situation is going to be stable. It's going to remain stable despite what's in your heart and in your mind and in your soul. That situation will not change in this period, in this eclipse, full moon eclipse cycle, which is about 2 weeks around the full moon. Now we have the, let's say, Hanged Man is also a water sign. That means that it speaks to the water signs. It means that your emotions are going to be on an all-time high during this moon. You will have them surface. Tears, happiness, crying. In Italian, we say a fior di pelle. You're going to wear your emotions literally on your sleeve, on your skin. And our emotions here, it's the beginning of happiness. Bambino, child, alegria, happiness, and amica. This is a harmony. She speaks to harmony. It does, in the cycle, in the moon cycle, your emotions do have this little bit of, roller coaster, high and low. But we see at the end of the moon cycle, this full moon cycle, that there is harmony restored. Now we have here the Hierophant. We have the Taurus card. And what does that Taurus card talk to? What is that Taurus energy of wealth, of belongings, of things that are material goods? What does that tell us? Well, it tells us a contradictory message, ladies and gentlemen. We do have Belvedere, looking out to see, and we see something positive coming in. But at the same time, there is this jealousy card that speaks to sadness and a loss. And there is messages. There are messages coming in about that. In this 2-week cycle, in this full moon eclipse period, you will be continuing that high and low roller coaster ride. But communication is the watchword, as we saw also in the, let's see. We saw it in the beginning under the earth signs. We saw the communication in writing here. Now I'm going to the Aries card here. I was going to say the editor. The Aries card is the Emperor. And we have Morte, the death card. We have the Sacerdote, the priest. And we have Malinconia, melancholy. Now, if you remember what I showed you, let me show you again. This card was the house domestic. You take a look at that, how closely they resemble each other. Well, I showed you that because indeed this is a card that hides things. Now we have the death card, we have the Sacerdote coming out like this, and we have melancholy, looking back. Now there is typically here something revolving around the Aries that is prominent in this period for you that brings you sadness. They might be moving away. They might be moving. They might not be in a position to ever see them again. You may have to say goodbye to them either permanently or for a certain period of time. And that will cause you to look back. Then we have this very, very fast Eight of Wands. Remember the focus under the Abundance Oracle. And I have here viaggio, the movement. It's moving away here. As you can see, it's moving away from this spread. The delirious people, deliranti, and then we have communication again. So this is the third time that there's a focus on communication, as if they're telling you, ladies and gentlemen out there, no matter what sign you are, they're telling you that it's through communication that you literally play out the story on your stage on your life stage during these 2 weeks. And again, there is someone leaving you. It happens very quickly. There's someone leaving, causing you discomfort, dismay, but the communication will again bring balance to your life. What is the delay about? Let's look at the delay, this Four of Swords. We have consoling surprise, consolante sorpresa. Then we have pensiero, thought, and leggerezza, this lightness of being. And this is such a very interesting card. It talks about lightness in the sense of being able to interact socially in a light fashion, in a fun fashion, and having that pick you up during these 2 weeks, during this moon cycle. It is the thought pattern, your thoughts, that can make or break this possibility. You can accept the fact of throwing yourself in the fray, opening up a new profile in some kind of dating app, or throwing yourself at the mercy of your best friend's cousin who is single again and they want you to meet them and that kind of thing. Or you meet a long lost member of your family and you have a glimpse in your eye, you see a glimpse in theirs, and you may or may not decide to take that up at a future date. Remember, this is your choice. Then the last card that I wanted to clarify was this little bit of fighting, this Seven of this inner display of contradiction within you. We have here the Gran Signore, and the Gran Signore is a sort of the mate, the playmate, or the counterpart of this married woman. They're both very responsible. They're both very powerful cards, very powerful people. Well, we have Gran Signore. It is a man. It could be you yourself, but I see that there is communication. A fourth, literally a fourth, pointing to communication as being a precursor to success. But it looks like you are reticent to do that. You're not really happy about putting yourself in the position of speaking with that person, of talking. And this also, if it's not destined to someone else, it also means that you're not in the position of wanting to think about it, wanting to come to terms with it, you yourself. Usually this card is about inner strife, but here it means that whether it is inner strife or in terms of someone else that you need to communicate, it is the communication, the oral communication here, that will make you successful and restore your balance. A question of balance keeps coming up here over and over. So let's now take a look at the runes to see what they have to add to this very clear and articulated spread, this detailed spread. Let's take a look. All right. Oh, I like what I'm seeing. Hoo, 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 hoo. I like it like that. All right, now let me go to Isa first. Isa is a rune. Literally, it's ice. It's cooling down. It's stopping, freezing. It's cooling down in relationships. And we saw a little bit of that and did also see the suggestion in the cards for you to communicate in order to restore balance. Then I have here Algits, which is Merkstave. It's upside down, Merkstave, Algits. And Algits usually is a very fortunate influence in your life. Friendship, it's protective. Well, you won't see what is coming toward you in this moon period, ladies and gentlemen. You won't see it. As you won't, and why I say that is because I see here Keenats, which is Brightstave. Sorry, it's Merkstave, upside down. And Keenats is usually warmth, fire, energy, power, opening up, starting something new. This is a closure because there's something missing. There is something missing. It's as if you don't have your antenna up. But the last rune, which is Merkstave, is Thurisats. Thurisats is a resounding, this is Thor, the god, protection. It's protection and luck, but it's also a damning sensation. It is a rune that tells you you need to act. When you don't, the hammer comes down very quickly, and you will understand very, very soon the reactions to your non-action. So this is sort of a warning in terms of not heeding what was said before. Now, the last rune that I let's say, usually talks about delays. This is Hagal or Hagalas, and this is limitations. We saw ice before. Well, this is hail. It talks about delays. It talks like that Four of Swords about something that will be probably tipping the balance after slightly toward the end of this full moon eclipse cycle. And it's because of forces outside of your control, something that happens in a relationship. Your partner finds something that you didn't want them to see, out of your control because it just happened. The universe put it there for you. And that's also a sign, something of that nature. Now I've got these great runes. Then I have Diag. Diag, it means increase. It means growth. And it is a growth process, ladies and gentlemen. These 2 weeks during this great eclipse period, that roller coaster up and down is what makes for growth. And this also helps in alleviating the delay of other runes like that. So my understanding of this and my experience, my professional experience, tells me that it will come, the return and restoring balance in any type of relationship, be it romantic, a business, or family, before the 2 weeks are over. I have here now Otalan or Otala, and it talks about things. It's a sort of an earth energy here. Things that money can buy, but it's also you being consumed by a vision. And it is that vision which will blind you blind you from seeing other things. All right, then I have Lagos and Lagos, Lagos or Lagos. This is intuitive knowledge. This is something that helps you when your antenna are not working. This is a female energy. This is good memory and success in you learning from the difficulties in this period. Then we have Ingvats. Ingvats is a successful conclusion. A relief, really. It's a relief. It usually signals a sort of a milestone in your life, in the sense that there's a light bulb that turns on above your head because you get it. You have this aha moment in this period, and you feel as if I win. I got it. I figured it out. It's very, very interesting. And then the last rune that I have here is Tyr, and Tyr is victory in competition. It's you against yourself in these 2-week period, in this great full moon eclipse period, which I say 2 weeks because before and after, 10-day, 2-week period, it's extreme motivation. You are riding on a wing in prayer to increase your money and power. You become motivated once again. And it happens after this moon, right? As soon as the moon, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is when things turn around for you. And I really do like what I saw. I'm happy that I was able to give you this message this Saturday. For those down under, it will be Sunday. Do enjoy this full moon eclipse and see if you can see it somewhere, because it's always such a wonderful spectacle what nature gives us to see. Just keep your eyes up and keep your heart open. Bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen, until we read together again. Bye-bye.